Tyra Banks. Tyra Banks. How could you attend these freak-offs and you knew that these kids were underage? See, I'm concerned with the adults that was at these parties who, were given, those intoxicating substances against their will, but they had a choice to be at that party.
Thinking about the victims that are still going through this right now with other people who are running to cover their and deleting their social medias. Pink, Megan Fox, Tyra Banks, Steve.
I've always said that I'm not a saint, that I am a work in progress, but I will not be held hostage by my past.
Did you know who he was?
Yes, I knew him. I was introduced to him on my 31st birthday by my ex-boyfriend, Flav.
Naomi Campbell's assistance to Diddy in his ST business by providing young models for freak-offs was not exposed by Tyra Banks. With the promise of utilizing her contacts to make them famous, Naomi is alleged to have been out there deceiving gullible male and female models into becoming Diddy's experts. For more than 10 years, Tyra Banks and Naomi Campbell have been at odds. However, everyone assumed that Tyra's dislike of Naomi stemmed from their rivalry in the modeling industry. Tyra is now stepping out to reveal everything, and it turns out that Naomi selling off young African models for freak-offs is the root of their feud. Tyra's knowledge of Naomi's shady relationship with Diddy is unknown, but it is obvious that it has been a long time because they have been at odds for years, and she has not let her foot off Naomi's throat since. When Naomi was revealed for being in the room and doing nothing at all, while Diddy was actively attempting to SA Snoop Dogg, her name was brought into the fray. It appears that Diddy, like he normally does to all of his SA victims, had tampered with Snoop's drink at an industry party. Diddy began to touch Snoop improperly and continuously after he was knocked unconscious and going in and out of consciousness. Even though Naomi was present, she did nothing to stop him. Diddy did not halt his actions until Snoop's wife stormed into the room and pulled him out. Diddy would have played with Snoop and most likely recorded the entire affair if it were not for her. In actuality, Naomi attended Diddy's 54th birthday celebration a few weeks before his incarceration. However, after he was arrested, she separated herself by unfollowing him on IG. Naturally though, this did not stop others from still observing her, and it turns out that Naomi has a history of dating dubious individuals before, including Diddy. Back in 2010, she was dragged into court to testify against the ex-Liberian president, Charles Taylor, after he gifted her blood diamonds during her stay at Nelson Mandela's house in South Africa. For those of you who are unaware, Charles Taylor was well known for owning an enormous collection of uncut diamonds that he got by unliving sawing and cutting the hands and legs of defenseless Sierra Leonean civilians.
As crucial in a case that goes back over a decade, involving hundreds of thousands of people killed or maimed in a bloody civil war that Taylor is accused of fueling with what came to be called blood diamonds. As first reported by ABC News, witnesses said Campbell, on a trip to South Africa to the home of Nelson Mandela, had boasted of receiving a packet of diamonds from Taylor's representative.
Naomi vehemently denied being handed any diamonds when she was first questioned about it and even walked out of the interview. But after being subpoenaed and forced to appear in court, she admitted to receiving diamonds from Charles. But this time she crafted a story that absolutely no one believed. She said she was sleeping when two men came knocking on her door in the middle of the night. When she opened it, they gave her a pouch, claiming that it was a gift from Charles to her. She said she was too tired to open the pouch, so she went back to sleep without checking what was in it. However, because diamonds resemble dirty, tiny stones, she was unaware that there were any when she finally opened it. She's only used to seeing refined, clean, shiny diamond.
You received a diamond from
I
Charles.
didn't receive a diamond, and I'm not going to speak about that. Thank you very much. And I'm not here for that.
Well, we've been told that you didn't help the prosecution sort of in this very important case.
Sorry.
Thank you so much. Goodbye.
But what she told ABC News was a lie. She did receive diamonds from Taylor, as she acknowledged under oath today, describing a bizarre middle-of-the-night scene outside her bedroom.
When I was sleeping, I had a knock at my door, and I opened my door, and two men were there and gave me a pouch and said, "A gift for you."
Did you ask them who they were?
No, I was extremely tired. When they gave me the pouch, I just put it next to my bed and went back to bed.
What did you think the stones were?
They were kind of dirty looking pebbles. They were dirty, I don't know. I find when I'm used to seeing diamonds, I'm used to seeing diamonds shiny and in a box, you know. If someone hadn't said they were diamonds, I wouldn't have guessed right away that they were diamonds.
As previously said, Naomi was not believed by anyone, and this situation further worsened when actress Mia Farrow and her old aide Carol White, who accompanied her on the trip, claimed that Naomi was more than happy to accept the diamonds and knew exactly where they were coming from. Carol said Naomi was flirting with Charles the entire night, and that when the diamonds were given to her, she was very excited and even showed them to her.
Witnesses, including actress and activist Mia Farrow, have given much different testimony. Farrow was there the next morning and says Campbell knew exactly what she had.
She said during the night, some men had knocked at her door, and it was representatives of President Charles Taylor, and that they had given her a huge diamond. And we're like, oh my gosh.
Taylor's representatives asked Campbell about testimony from witnesses, including one who claimed Campbell had been flirting with Taylor, something Campbell denied.
That's not true at all. As I said before, when I'm with Mr. Mandela, and I think everyone in the world feels the same way, my attention and focus is with...
According to rumors, Naomi was also involved with Jeffrey Epstein and even assisted him in committing several of the offenses for which he was charged. Indeed, it was discovered that Naomi was also purportedly visiting Epstein's island following Jeffrey's arrest. The feds claimed she took 5 flights aboard the Lolita Express in 2001 and 2003. 2 originated in the U.S. Virgin Islands, where Epstein owned his own island that was known to be a place of debauchery. A couple of flights went to the Sao Paulo, Brazil area.
I was introduced to him on my 31st birthday by my ex-boyfriend Flavio. He was always front and center at Victoria's Secret shows.
Did you suspect what he was doing?
No. And what he's done is indefensible. And when I heard of what he'd done, it sickened me to my stomach, just like everybody else. Because I've had my fair share of predators. And thank God that I had good people around me that protected me from this. I mean, right now I stand with the victims. I can't, they're scarred.
Now, recall how I mentioned that there were rumors that Naomi was providing these ladies to Diddy for freak-off toys in return for a modeling contract, when Kenyan influencer Elsa Majimbo said that Naomi had lured her into her social circle and introduced her to several wealthy men in an attempt to force her into relationships with them. The allegations intensified.
Naomi was coming to Nairobi to do some shopping. She was on holiday, but on a remote place. So she was in Nairobi doing shopping. And I texted her and she told me she's in Nairobi. So I was so excited to meet her. She was the first celebrity I was ever going to meet. Guys, I was through the roof. She texted me, she was like, hey, I'm here. She texted me the location. I went directly. I went with my brother. So my brother and I, we met her, we did some shopping. And as we're shopping, she's like, oh, the plane that's taking us back actually has couple more seats. Do you and your brother want to join us on holiday? Hell yes. So I was like, oh, that would be so lovely. She introduced me to a couple of people in Hollywood. If people she was on vacation were coming to Nairobi after the vacation, they were staying at the Kempinski. So I went to see them at the Kempinski when the whole thing was over. So I sat down with them, I was talking to one of them, and one of them was like, oh, it's so, like, how did you meet Naomi? And I was like, oh no, I texted her on Instagram, blah blah. And she was like, oh yeah, she told us like she made you and she built you and she made your career. And I was like, what? No, that's not what happened. And I was like, you mean like helped me and like promoted me? And she was like, no, like what you have is because of her. And I was like, oh yeah, no, that didn't happen. Time goes by. March 2022. We have jumped into March 2022. I get a phone call. My phone is ringing. Naomi Campbell. Oh, so I pick up. I'm like, hey sis, like how are you? How are you doing? And she's like, Elsa, how dare you? Oh! So I'm in shock, right? I'm in shock. I don't know what's going on. She was like, this is the last time I'm speaking to you. Have a nice life. And she hung up. Which I was very saddened by the situation, right? But I was like, if that's how she truly feels, because I respect people's space. So I was like, if that's how she truly feels, fine, it's okay. So I let it go. So after that, like a few months, things started going very badly for me. Things started going haywire. And I didn't think it was, I thought it was because of the situation, let me not lie. But I was like, also it can be sure. So I was like, let me go. Because also having someone like Naomi Campbell not liking you in the industry is not a good thing. So I went to her, I apologized. I'd already apologized when the situation had happened, but I went and I apologized again and again. I started calling her, I started texting her. And then one day she just texted me and she was like, stop calling me. I have a child to take care of. So after that, I just said, okay, there's nothing I can do about it. I started drinking. That's why I even quit alcohol. I started drinking. I started drinking a lot. Yeah. And then, because I wasn't sure why things were going so wrong and I couldn't put my finger on it. And then a few months later, I met Edward Enninful at a party, and Edward Enninful is oh my goodness, he's one of the people I adore the most. So I was like, oh my goodness, that's Edward, I have to go say hi. So I'm like, hey Edward, I'm such a big fan. And he looks at me, he's like, I know you. And then he said something that made me think the situation with Naomi was causing like some of the trials and tribulations I was carrying.
Getting back to Tyra, the fact that she is accusing Naomi of all of this does not absolve her of any wrongdoing because, in Ali Carter's opinion, Tyra is equally culpable as Naomi and is only accusing Naomi in order to protect herself. Tyra's name was prominently shown on the list of celebrities who Diddy benefited from, which Ali actually made a whole video about, because Tyra Banks, Megan Fox, and even Steve Harvey were involved in whatever Diddy was up to. Ali accused them of setting themselves up abroad so that they could flee and avoid justice as soon as they were implicated in the trial.
Talking about the victims that are still going through the right now with other people who are running to cover and deleting their social medias. Pink, Megan Fox, Tyra Banks, Steve Harvey. Why are you running?
Many people were shocked when Ali brought up Tyra in this issue since, at the time, we believed that she was one of the good guys and that Naomi was the only terrible person with ties to Diddy. However, it appears that she is also complicit in this. It seems that Tyra was also providing Diddy with services through her well-liked program, America's Next Top Model. The well-known blog, badboyforever.com, which used to exclusively report on Diddy and the artists of Bad Boy Entertainment, actually revealed in 2006 that Diddy had surprised Tyra Banks by flying into her show in a helicopter. She also gave him a gift for his twin girls, who were still unborn at the time, in return. According to the article, Sean Diddy Combs has given a new meaning to the word excess. The rapper recently arrived for an appearance on the Tyra Banks show in a helicopter. Awaiting him on the landing pad was a red carpet, a couple of strategically placed butlers, tons of screaming female fans, and last but not least, a microphone. But Diddy isn't the only one with an extravagant flair. Host Tyra Banks gave the artist a special gift for his unborn twin daughters, a double stroller complete with built-in speakers and mobile phone attachments. Tyra was one of Diddy's export suppliers, so it seems that he went all out for her. As we all know, Diddy treats his associates very well, especially those who make it simple for him to carry out the nefarious things he used to do. For example, when he and Young Miami flew all the way to London to give Naomi a cake as a surprise after earning her PhD, Ali says it was much more difficult for these gullible models who were made to participate in these freak-offs, particularly the men. According to Ali, some of these industry men have fetishes, so if any of these men got messed up and ended up urinating, they would make them lie in it.
Watching an episode called Pig Night, when I went, they tried to feed us, and I remember it because when
Pig
you
night.
have to do
Say what?
orders, jobs like that, you don't eat. You're not allowed to eat. You actually have to starve yourself, because when you have to do those type of jobs, you can't eat because you will throw up.
Really?
If you are doing, or if you are a guy doing it, you will shit everywhere.
Oh boy.
When this happens, your pimps will get mad at you. Really mad at you. And if that is a fetish for someone, they use that to their advantage. So if you throw up on someone, you will have to eat it. If you someone, you will have to let.
Tyra and Naomi will be called to the stand, though it is uncertain if they will. There is a lot going on, and Naomi may be much more involved than we initially believed. People have their own opinions as usual, such as this one who stated Naomi knew exactly what was happening with both Epstein, Diddy, and co. She was recently found guilty and removed from her own charity in the UK because the figures were not adding up. Another person said, "What a pathological liar, evil demon that should be in prison. Why is she allowed to continue her disgusting ways and not held accountable?" Now though, I would like to hear your opinions. How do you feel about Naomi being revealed for her role in Diddy's mess? Do you guys believe Tyra is also involved and attempting to hide her tracks just now?